I'm Steve, Mark's around, and this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark. Either welcome or welcome back, and happy Saturday. It's the weekend. We know what that means. Today I'm having whole milk and sugar-free Splenda brand vanilla creamer, which is okay. Just okay. They were out of meat, they were out of bread, they were out of everything, but they had that. And of course, an unfinished basement. So today, we're going to pick up where we left off with our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantal, and of course Foodie Beauty again. Now, where we had left off with her, she had been going through some changes, big life changes. Of course, she moved, which we knew. She moved in with Pete, her ex. Okay. And she's kind of getting herself settled in. She still hasn't done a lot of the unpacking yet. She has some edibles in the house, which is different. And there seems to be no end in sight for the mukbangs. I was kind of predicting that there would have been the sappy, messy-haired, no makeup, late night, what was I thinking, what was I doing videos, but it hasn't happened yet. So let's go and see what she has been up to instead. So, first video, mukbang, baked drumsticks, roasted potatoes, and salad. Now, originally she had said no cats are allowed here, no cats are there. Cats like right in the counter, jumping up on the fridge, they're all over the place anymore. She cooked, and I'm finding that in videos where Pete appears, Pete has become kind of like a prop. She kind of like has him there, and he just like talks when she prompts him to. She told him not to start eating, he didn't. So she's really taken the reins in this week, actually, in a few different areas. But Pete's is one of them. She's like, oh, people are going to say I'm yelling at you. Well, she did. Mark's mm-hmming in the background.
Oh, absolutely. She has
like he's in a beauty shop. Yeah. So, again, something about the perspective of the kitchen's a little weird. I don't like the angles that it's shooting at. To the extent that I even want to watch, it should at least be set up nice. And I don't really like the way it looks. She looks... I say this with all the love and respect I could have for another human being. She looks fat as all hell in a lot of these videos. And I've been following Chantal for a while, and when the shape of someone's face changes and it gets larger, it's fair to assess that they might have gained a little bit of weight. And when someone's eating food that is fattening, and it's causing that, you know, you kind of put some things together. Not passing judgment, just an observation. So, whenever, I noticed this last week too, whenever Pete starts talking, and Pete has niche interests, okay, comic books, anime movies, gaming, things like that. She'll be eating, and he'll start talking, and she'll look at the camera like, I hope he shuts up soon. I hope he's quiet soon. Almost apologetically. You don't have to apologize for Pete. Sure, he's kind of a creeper, but, you know, whatever. I think he's a little, I don't know, he's a little shy. We'll just say shy. I'm not a doctor, so we'll say shy. She's still going back and forth to Bee's place, which is decidedly not her place anymore, to get her stuff, and she's going very slowly and kind of just easing into her new life, it kind of seems like. She's not in a very big rush, and she says that between her and Bibi, the nature of their relationship, before or now, there didn't have to be a big rip off the band-aid in one pull, and she have to, you know, never go back there again. So, per her, that's what's happening. She tags now, instead of doing it at the community board and putting up things and taking them down, it seems like she'll pin a comment from her underneath every single video. And under this one was that she was having a rough time and she wasn't going to be doing comments for a while, or she was trying to keep up, something like that. So she wanted everyone to know that she read them, but, you know, she didn't really acknowledge any of them. So, next video, new Burger King Garlic King and Dairy Queen mukbang. So, she's in the car, so we're back in the field again. Some people made observations that, you know, in a pandemic, is it ideal to be in and out of the house, in and out of fast food places? We all remember last week's devastation when a McDonald's drive-thru worker tested positive and it shook her. She was shook. So, apparently she's pushed past her fears and has gone back out. Uh, the tray is back. It doesn't fit as well as it used to. God, God forgive me. God bless her and God forgive me. It doesn't fit as well as it used to. It's like it's up to here. It's like it's a lot higher. That's not a judgment necessarily on the kind of food she's eating or the size of her body. That's about bad ergonomics. Okay, so uh, so she wasn't going to go out, and now she's going out. She's trying to get used to her new life, according to her. Um, she woke up depressed and a little panicky. Does anyone see a correlation with Burger King happening shortly thereafter? She woke up depressed and panicky. Maybe I'm reading too much into things. And she said in a moment of weakness, she texted BB about being friends with benefits. Now, last week, I kind of thought maybe something could have been going on there. Maybe there was a friends with benefits, you know. There's a lid for every pot in terms of intimate, casual encounters, what have you. And maybe that was a part of their relationship that still worked, even though they didn't really. I mean, the breakup was more on his end than hers. She's said so herself. So that fell through. that didn't happen, according to her. So might have misread that last week. But she wanted to put that out there that had happened. It was a moment of weakness, but that BB might be coming over to the house next week. Now, as far as I remember, BB and Pete's have never met, to my knowledge. Pete's never came over to her apartment once, and Pete's is going to be there because Pete's lives there and works from home and doesn't drive. So if BB does come over, it could be quite awkward, and I've kind of thought in the past that she kept them apart from talking. One, because it could be really freaking awkward. I mean, I've had exes meet and it's weird. But one of the manipulative, sinister kind of parts of it is that there's something about not wanting your exes to compare notes, especially if you're a shifty person who plays fast and loose with the truth. And you don't want them to do that, even if they are exes, because she's still friends with, well, at least Pete's. So I don't know how that's going to pan out. Is she going to take him and drop him off at his mom's and then have BB come over and then BB will leave and she goes and picks up Pete's, and I don't know how that would work exactly. But there you are, you see. And then she addressed a couple comments people had. Well, what would you do if Pete's had a girlfriend? And she says, well, nothing. I'd be happy for him. I don't believe that at all. I think she would be a meddling shrew. You know, I think on the surface she would be happy, but if she didn't like the girl, it wouldn't matter if Pete's did. She would somehow go in there and spoil that, you know. But the odds of Pete's finding another girl are very low, because I think he still has a torch for Chantal. Just an observation. She says that after all of this comes down with the corona and the pandemic and everything like that, she plans to travel. She does have a job that could travel anywhere she can take an iPad and they have a fast food place she can work. But she didn't travel much before, I don't think. And it's challenging when you're a person of size to travel. The world isn't built for big folks like her. And she's not the only big person or Amber Lynn or anybody else. Accommodations aren't made for people that are that size. So when you travel, you're either going to have to go first class or pay extra, for some extra space that you're going to need. So I don't know that she'll be traveling exactly. I think even for certain patients, they don't recommend airline travel due to the risk of, clots explode. I don't know, things like that happening. But that's her intention, as far as she's telling us. She said she wanted to be single, which was, good. I mean, she had said she wanted to stay single for a period, and I think that's a healthy thing to do. She's been steadily in a relationship, according to her, for the last pretty much 15 years, either with BB or with Pete's. But she does miss buying sexy lingerie and the like. So, yeah. After she sits in the car and smashes some Burger King, she goes to Dairy Queen. And then she starts talking about the things in her apartment she does and doesn't like. Now, one of the things she doesn't like is her bed. She says her bed, which is a queen, is not comfortable. It's not big enough. Now, a queen bed is pretty big. Chantal is not my understanding, I've never had a king-size bed. I think I dated a guy once who did, and I got lucky because it was very nice. But a king, if I'm mistaken, correct me because I might be. A king is as wide as it is, it's like a square almost, as wide as it is long. Chantal, to my recollection, according again to her measurements, is about as tall as she is wide. She's 5'2", which would make her 62 inches tall, and she had about a 60-inch waist last she measured. So I get the proportions kind of work, but I mean, Mark and I sleep in a smaller bed, and we're quite comfortable. So, her money, she can spend it how she wants. If I could afford to be comfortable in a king bed, I probably would too. Is it a need? No. Is it a luxury? Yeah, it's probably a luxury. And if she can afford it, she can afford it, assuming she's paying for it. So, after she's at the Dairy Queen, she's talking about how that might be the last thing she eats today, and she's just going to nibble and try to snack, but she hasn't been successful with that. So now we're talking about eating habits again. So she's been on the mukbang run, but now we're talking about something that sounds like mindful eating habits. I will eat less at this time. I will try to eat different foods at this time. That's the talk of weight loss, usually, or weight maintenance. And she thinks it's still early enough in the day to do intermittent fasting, given that she just had the cheesy tots and the whatnot. So, yeah. 3, mukbang, chicken salad, big chicken salad with creamy dressing. Now, you think salad, you'd be like, yay, go, have a salad. That's good for you. Salads are healthy. And we all know that you can trash a salad if you pour like creamy Caesar on it or something and ruin it, and it's worse than a Big Mac. But as far as mukbangs go, I get that sound is a component of it, so I usually don't say too much about chomping noises. They drive Mark insane when he's sitting here watching. Mark?
Yeah.
What do you think about chewing noises?
Are you seriously asking me that?
I think most people don't like them, but...
I can't take it. I swear, I sit down and I don't watch the TV when you're doing your research. And all I can hear in the background is... I just think it is a very, very bad habit for a person to do.
Yeah. Thank you for your insight there.
Especially coming from her.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I know it's part of the mukbang. I was just saying to make the food noises. However, I suspect off camera she doesn't eat much differently.
Oh no, she doesn't.
I don't
Probably
think.
even worse.
I don't think this is part of the show, folks.
And to make the noises, yes, that's one thing. To say, oh, this tastes good. Maybe hear her chew.
And make her O face having cheesecake.
But to chew with your mouth open like that, oh God.
Thank you, Mark. That was Mark. So again, she's going through some just odds and ends, with this chicken salad that she's having, and the chewing sounds are worse with roughage, but whatever. She mentions her live stream that she put up and came down. Now, I caught bits and pieces, and then somewhere I think I had seen that she kind of made a fool of herself at the end of this. Apparently there was maybe some gassiness, flatulence, something to that degree. Don't quote me on that, but there was a part of it that she made a fool of herself, apparently, doing. And then she gave some, I think, BS explanation of that there was technical difficulties, that she couldn't put it up and it had to come down, which, I don't believe at all, if that was the case. And apparently she got something of not a shout-out, but a kind remark from Amber Lynn Reid, which was nice, that she thought she was a nice, which is kind, I guess, because Chantal always tries to connect herself with Amber Lynn Reid, especially when there's, like, a blast of fat shaming going on. She'll try to say, people like me and Amber Lynn Reid, and people like me and Amber Lynn Reid, and Amber Lynn Reid rarely, to my knowledge, recognizes Foodie Beauty. So, I'm sure that made her heart flutter, that she was acknowledged. Okay. So, she's having corn on the cob. Alright, now, people eat corn on the cob differently. She eats it like one of the Coneheads from Saturday Night Live, or if you've seen the movie, she just takes it down completely. I noted, that doesn't have to do with her being fat. That's just a manner of eating, okay? So, and I've never seen other mukbangers eat corn on the cob, so I don't know if she's doing standard practice, but suffice it to say. While she was out, she went past a Starbucks, and she said the line for the Starbucks, which was open, the drive-thru, was around the store and into a parking lot next door, and she thought that that was a little extreme, that was too long of a wait for coffee. This from the woman who drove across the border in the middle of the night to go to Sonic. So I don't necessarily think that she has room to kind of, talk about extreme behaviors in the pursuit of food, but I don't know. I'm just talking on my ass. What do I know? She gave some health updates. She talked to her doctor about she had some spots on her leg, and I think she had concern, was it pre-diabetic or whatever, and doctor ordered some cream to put on it. Doctor doesn't think it's pre-diabetic, said that. I think Chandel constantly has health problems, one or another. Like, she's always got one on the back burner in case one resolves itself, too. She's had a lot of psychiatric help over the years, too. So there are certain kind of folks who feel special when they have medical problems. There's a psychiatric diagnosis for that, whether it's a personality type or, there's more specific ones. But I think it makes her feel special to have a lot of stuff going on. It kind of it stops some people from coming at you aggressively if they think, well, she's sick. Well, she's not well. And I'll get on to that later when it comes to the eating. So, sorry, needed a break. So, anyway, where we come to next is mukbang, triple chocolate crepe, and mango bubble tea. I miss bubble tea. Can't get it around here. I'm up in freaking northeastern Pennsylvania. It's not a cultural mecca. So she said she's a little red-faced. She went for a walk. I think it's the stairs. The stairs. I can't imagine how silently furious she is about these stairs at this point. I think underneath some of this chocolate there was a crepe, probably. I imagine she ordered extra chocolate because she said it was good Belgian chocolate, and, like, better foods when I've eaten out, because I have a low-brow palate, but I've certainly eaten in decent restaurants before. I lived in Philadelphia, so I wasn't going to, like, Cheesecake Factory and stuff. I had access to some good, seasonal, well-made food. Finer foods are not the kind of thing that I used to prefer to binge on, usually. It was something really well-made, really decadent, and it was satisfying just to have that. Like, I might sit down and eat, a 2-pound bag of M&Ms if I was binging, but I wouldn't sit down and eat a whole pound of dark Belgian chocolate, because it's decadent enough in its quality that you don't need a lot of it. But, she's not inhibited by that. So, quite a few sweets this week. I wonder if the edibles are maybe giving her a little kick in the sweet tooth. Just wondering. Then she proceeds to talk about her cats and how they get her up in the morning, and how she has to play with them, and to keep them busy. We don't have cat problems like that. We feed him before bed, and he might sleep with us, he might not. And then, he's on the floor in the morning, and he joins Mark for coffee. We got lucky. Our cat's pretty low maintenance. Bandit's a good boy. Okay, so she wants to add something to her channel, like a kiss kiss, a mwah mwah, as if the shh, I say shh, isn't enough, and now she signs it. Shh. Shh. So, I like the signing better because we can all avoid the noise. So I appreciate her taking that step for the rest of us. I really, really do. And the rest of this video is just filler. I think she's just looking for stuff to talk about. So, she talks how Pete wants a man bun. Now, a closer inspection of Pete's hair, because I look at men's hair because I don't have any hair anymore. So a closer look at his hair reveals that his hairline is not so different than mine. It's just longer. He's got the little bit in front, which doesn't connect, all this in the back, and then a spot in the back. So I'm not sure how a man bun would look on Pete's. But I'm willing to give it a look. I think Pete's has nice eyes. I think they're shifty because he's an unbelievably awkward person. But, I don't know. He just has a certain goober, weird, it borders between childlike and, trench coat mafia kind of thing. But, he's just the sidekick right now. Okay. She again goes on to say that she's pissed that her live streams were buffering and that she couldn't get them up and yop yop yop. And I think again it goes back to just the content of that live stream was nothing she wanted to keep up, so it was gone. Next mukbang, soft pretzels and bacon, beer, cheese. Dragon boat appetizers also. So, her hair and makeup looks very nice in this. She's buying local, so she's supporting the local economy by buying food from a local restaurant. That coldest bottle is right here, maybe right there. And she's up to 70K. Good for her with the subscribers. No matter what your content, you're excited to grow your channel. You know, regardless of what I think about what she puts on her channel, there's a niche for it, there's an audience for it, and there's a lot of mukbangers whose channels aren't as big. So to the extent that she does what she does, she's doing it well, doing it better, because her channel is growing. Hate watchers? Probably a fair amount. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan, but I watch all her videos, so. And I watch her ads, because she's helping me out, so I might as well give back a little. Let's see. And so this video was kind of a getting to know me video for her. She didn't really break any new ground. She was talking about her name, how long she's been on YouTube, and then she did one of those TMI lists, and I got halfway through before I realized she's not going to be honest about this, or at least I don't think so. Okay, so it's like, biggest this, least favorite that, biggest turnoff, unbrushed teeth and arrogance. Okay, we're on the same page. Biggest turn on, men who smell good. That's a good one too. First crush, the Ninja Turtles. I'm like, alright, here we go. Best compliment, I'm glad you exist. And that came from BB. And that was a sweet thing to say. Best sex ever had. She had some hot Scottish guy. And she didn't go too deep into details, which I think we all appreciate. Biggest lie ever told. So she tells some story about how when she was a kid, it had something to do with Batman, and they lived in her attic, and then she was going to be part of the Bat series. I don't know. If I was going to pick out the biggest lie Chantal ever told, from all the lies that she said she told, not lies I think she told, ones she said she told, I would think faking a suicide attempt to get back at your mother for not letting you see your gross older boyfriend would be a bigger lie. But maybe I'm splitting hairs. So I didn't listen to the rest of the questions because I thought, nah. So 6, the last one, mukbang, Buffalo Wild Wings, fried mac and cheese, and Cheesecake Factory. So she gets a lot of food. Now, she's in the old faithful, the old polka dot top, which that shirt doesn't owe her a dime. I'm going to use my glasses for this because I took a few notes because she was a little perturbed. More than a little perturbed. And had some things to say. Warning, if you're triggered by fat people eating or eating noises, don't watch. I wouldn't say I'm triggered as much as grossed out, but you're a mukbang channel, so it's par for the course. If I want to review it, I gotta listen to that. So I usually, like I said, grosses Mark out, but I take for granted. I don't usually say, oh, she's chewing with her mouth open, or maybe if there's a lot of food on her face, or if she drops something in her cleavage, I might make a note of it. But as far as the chomping, I get it that that's part of the game. You know, that's part of what it is. So, she acknowledges that she's been back and forth between mukbangs and weight loss content, and she says that's her fault. She said recently, consistently, she's been doing mukbangs. And she believes, though other people don't, that it's possible that you can lose weight while doing mukbangs. I don't know if I've seen it exactly. I don't think she's done it at all. I mean, she's been doing mukbangs for 3 years, and she's not smaller. She's visibly bigger. And even if she hadn't gained any weight, maintaining the fact that you're 250 pounds overweight is not an accomplishment. So she doesn't want to talk about anything related to weight, but people still have opinions about it. Well, when you bring up weight loss content ever, I mean, that comes up. And when you mentioned earlier in the week intermittent fasting, which is a dieting tool that people use, or talk about making healthier versions of anything like that, that indicates that it's somewhere on your mind. Now, granted, you said you want to leave it off YouTube. That's cool. I mean, you can pick and choose what you put on your channel, but it continues to come up, and you feel singled out. Okay. Alright. So, she's trying to tell the audience basically what they should think and what they should say and how they should comment. The arrogance to tell people what they should think about her channel and how they should comment about it is unbelievable, I think. And how everyone's a hypocrite because anyone who comments on her is fat and has no room to talk. They may be fat, but they're not exploiting an eating disorder for money. You know, the eating disorder that she has when she's backed into a corner? That one. And then she says, well, people treat it like it's a moral issue. Well, if it's not a moral issue, what is it? Did the eating disorder you had 2 months ago disappear? Or are you just indulging in it and you don't care? Are you monetizing it? You know, I used to drink a lot, actually, and not just coffee. But, you know, if I came out and I was a drinking channel, and then I declared at one point I wanted to stop because I told you that I knew it was killing me. And I stopped for a while and started drinking again. I think people would continue to linger on for a while, suggesting, didn't you say once upon a time that you thought this was killing you? I think they would bring it up. I think they would continue to bring it up, probably, too. But, whatever. And she said, as far as losing the weight with the mukbangs, people say, you will never lose weight. And she says, well, that's a crystal ball statement. You don't know that I'll never lose weight. Often, and this isn't a Steve original, I heard this in one of the 1,000 rehabs I was in. Often, though not always, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. Okay? So, you know, people do change. You know, my life isn't the same as it was 10 years ago. Neither is Mark's, neither is many people's. And we're not spectacular, you know, we shall overcome human beings. You just get sick of living like shit and you eventually do something about it. She hasn't gotten to that point yet, it seems. But, it was more of, you don't know what I do off camera. I can take a wild guess. If you're not any thinner, then whatever weight loss methods you're using aren't working. As long as we're talking about your weight, because you brought it up in this video. Okay? So, while we're here, let's talk about it. She gets that she's a public figure, but that doesn't mean she owes anyone any information. No, she doesn't. But people can talk about her, because she's a public figure. And she chose to be a public figure. Where none of us are drafted to YouTube. I don't think she gets that. None of us are, by order of the court, supposed to make videos. None of us are. Not one of us are. And there's no one telling us what kind of content we have to make, either. I had a weight loss... This was a weight loss channel. And my weight rarely, if ever, comes up. Unless I bring it up. You know why? Because I don't know why. Probably because I lost weight, actually. But... nevertheless, it's what you put out to folks. I don't troll people with crap about my weight. You know, I don't sit here after talking about wanting to lose weight and talking about having an eating disorder and putting out mental health videos, sitting here doing the behaviors that I said a week ago were killing me and telling anyone who's concerned about me to shut up and mind their own business. That is a turnoff. That is obnoxious, too. And that's when, all of a sudden, it's a mental illness. You can't roll obnoxious behavior and hide it under a mental illness. I mean, you can, but it's transparent, really. And even if I don't lose weight, this was point 2, it's nobody's business. Not until 8 days later when we have, again, the hair up, no makeup, crying video. I don't know what I was doing, I don't know what I was thinking, And she reassures us in this one that will definitely not happen. But we've also heard that there will definitely be no mukbangs, no more mukbangs for, I don't know how many times. I mean, I've been 6 or 7 I can count, maybe? So, it's a mukbang channel. That's her declaration, and you're not my parents. You can't tell me what to do. Again, this indignant thing came up last week. Who is she showing? Like, I'll show you, I'll eat what I want. What does that prove, and to who? And about what? Like, I don't know. I don't get it. You'll show me. You'll show us. You'll eat whatever you want. Okay. Okay. And she says no one would say anything about the spread she had in that video, the wings, the fries, and the cheesecake, if all the food was keto. No one would say anything. Now, see, that is a crystal ball statement there, Chantal. You don't know what people would say, actually. But, you know, if you want to decide what people are going to say and then react to it, that's your own whatever. Most of the people who comment are overweight, so they can't comment themselves. again, they're not producing content that capitalizes off of an eating disorder. And if it's not an eating disorder, then it's an addiction. And if it's not an addiction, it's gluttony. There's only so many reasons that people would eat to the point of almost being sick. And don't tell me you wanted to finish that cheesecake. You looked sick to death putting that last bite in. It's just... So, again, backed into a corner, all of a sudden it becomes an issue. It becomes a cycle. That cycle is the cycle of the eating disorder. Don't talk shit on me. Don't make fun of me. How could you make fun of a sick person? Do you see how this all cycles back now, and now there's a safe place to hide all of this behavior, and you can put something in front of it and hope people won't hit you too hard? Because I'm not a pig, I'm just sick. So, not that she's a pig. Well, she said so. Pigs are cute and tasty, I guess. Other mukbangers don't get grief about their weight. She just wants 100% loyalty. She wants people who aren't going to challenge her, aren't going to criticize her, say they love the food, they love her hair, they love the channel. Nobody challenge her about absolutely anything. So, I mean, this was Mark's last comment. If she's happy, whatever, but it seems kind of pathetic. So, that's where our fair lady is at the moment. She is rolling full steam ahead with the mukbangs, saying, don't expect any weight loss content, stop talking about it, don't tell me what to do, it's my party, I can eat if I want to. So that's where we are left off. So now seriously, when do you think the video about not doing mukbangs anymore is coming? Because I think it's coming. Now, it's possible that when she was with BB, she felt more compelled to do it, because she might have had some feedback back from BB. Pete's will give her no such feedback at all. Maybe her family may have at one point, and I think maybe mom and grandma might have intervened, because she talks about them like they're decent folks, and they probably are. And decent people would be concerned about someone engaging in this kind of behavior, for money or not. So, we'll see. We'll see. But thank you, Chantal, for continuing to make content, and it gives me something to do during these hard times. But again, I mean, people are going to talk about your weight because you're an obese woman who's overeating on camera, whether you were a mukbang channel or not. And you can't tell people what to watch, and you can't tell people what to think about what they watch, and you can't tell reaction channels what to talk about either. It doesn't work that way. If they're using your footage, you can strike them. If you don't like this or that, you can say anything you want. I mean, that's fine. But let's get it together here, okay? So thank you all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the like button and the bell on your way out. You can follow Mark and I on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc, or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and contact info is all listed down below. Thank you for watching, and we will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye.